Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna and today I have my Pandos eyeshadows update for you. This project was created by Alexi. I have her linked in my description box. I have her always there if you want to check her out. She's also doing this project in this year, so go follow the link in the description box. And I do also have a link for my playlist for this project if you want to see the other previous videos that I did on this project, then also go check them out. They are also in my description box down below. And I would say now let's hop right into the update. So I wanted to show you these two palettes together. I've had one shade from this palette in a project. It's a pastel lilac shade. And then I did also have this pastel mint shade from this little e.l.f. palette here in the project. And as you can see, the pan is right there. It was very easy to hit pan in it. And the reason why I wanted to show both of them to you at the same time is that I really felt like they've kind of had the same qualities to them. So it's this shade here. As you can see, I was able to hit pan in it. And I don't know if you can see it, but I feel like I've also hit tiny baby pan in this shade here. I love this one. But it's more like a putty formula, so it was quite easy to get down there because you really have to dig into it and get a lot of product out. So you really make a hole very easily. So I think that you can't really see it on camera, but I feel like I have a tiny baby pan in there. So the thing is that these two pastels here, so the one from the e.l.f. palette as well as the one from the Beauty Bay Book of Magic palette, they both are kind of the same quality. And I feel like for pastel shades they are bad because I did have to use so much of them to kind of make them show up, and I didn't know, I didn't have them a lot. I feel like I have used both of them 5 times and then I already hit pan because I really wanted to build it up to kind of make the colors show up a bit more, and I don't know, it blended away, it faded away, it wasn't showing up. So I layered it on and layered it on, and I don't know, there was not really a lot of color payoff. So I'm quite disappointed in both of them. I'm really not a fan of the mattes in this Beauty Bay palette here. With this e.l.f. palette it's a bit different. I do really like this matte here. I think this one here is great. It has a lot of pigment, it's easy to blend, it doesn't blend away. And I love the 2 shimmers in here. It's really only this shade here that I don't like. So, I don't know, yeah, a bit disappointed in it, but it's okay because I like the other ones so much. With the Beauty Bay palette, it's a bit different because, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of the other mattes in here as well. So I've used this one and this one and this one. And then I've also used this one because I thought maybe it's better than the one in the e.l.f. palette and they are quite similar in color. So I layered this one on top of this one, but I didn't really get more color from it. So I don't know, the mattes in here are really not that great. So to be honest, I would love to get another matte eyeshadow in this project now in the next round because I would really want to try the other mattes as well. And I never reach into this palette if I'm not kind of forced to because of this project. So I think it would be good to have it again in this project because then I really think that if I don't like the other mattes as well, I'm going to depot the shimmers and have them as singles and then give the mattes away because I don't know, I really don't like this formula. So I want to try it out a bit more to kind of make up my mind about it and then decide what to do with this palette. So these are the first 2 eyeshadows in this round and I've hit pan in both of them. Then the next eyeshadow that I have been working on was from my Blueberry Muffin palette. It's the dark blue down here. I think I didn't count exactly in my last round, but I was working on this blue eyeshadow here. It's a very dark blue metallic and I used it mainly as an eyeliner. I think I also used it on my outer corner a few times and then also one time all over my lid as a dark smoky eye, but it was a bit too dark for me. And I have to say, I figured out that I'm really not a fan of navy blue colors on me. I don't know what it is. I love blue eyeshadow in general and I do love blue colors on me in general, but this dark navy blue I wasn't a fan, and I have experienced it before and I always thought it's this one eyeshadow that I don't like, but now I can really say that it's in general navy blue is just not my color. But I have to say, I used this palette so much when I first got it in this project, and I've also hit pan in Sugared here, so this is a bonus pan. I've used it a ton. It's a beautiful light golden topper sparkly eyeshadow, so I'm a fan of this one. I've used it a ton and I have hit pan in it. I hope that you can see it. So I have 4 pans in this palette now and I'm excited. I do love this palette. I use these two a lot. This one here is so beautiful and this one as well. I'm really, I don't know, every time I reach for this palette I'm surprised and, I don't know, excited again because every color that I use is just so beautiful. I love this one here. This one is a dark purple and it looks like a burgundy shade or like a reddish brown, but it's actually pulling a lot more purple. I have one eyeshadow tutorial up with this palette on my channel where I use this one and you can see it in action. So if you want to see that, I'm trying to link it also down below in the description box so that you can watch it if you want to see it. So I'm excited for my 4 pans in this palette here and I would love to have it again in the next round because I just love this palette. So this is this eyeshadow here and I used it quite some time, but now I just know that navy blues are not really my kind of cup of tea. Then the next palette in this project is my Sultry palette and I've been working on Slate. It's the gray matte eyeshadow. And as you can see, I was able to hit pan in it. I used it a ton for just my everyday looks, for my work looks, because I usually do wear cool toned eyeshadows for work and for when I do a neutral look, which I do a lot more than colorful looks, I think, and I usually gravitate towards the cool tone. So Slate is a perfect eyeshadow for me for everyday looks, and it's also pulling a bit darker than you can see it in the pan, and it's perfect for like a one and done eyeshadow look. And I loved pairing it with Thyborg. I think I thought that I want to hit pan in this one as well, but I just couldn't do it. I was like digging into it, but I was like really digging into it, but it's just you need so little of it to get a lot of color payoff, so I just couldn't hit pan in this one. This is what it's looking like. It's one of my favorite taupey silver eyeshadows, and yes, I do love this one. And I think I don't want to force myself to hit pan in it because I feel like it will come naturally pretty soon because I really do love this one. And it was very easy to hit pan in this one. This is such an easy eyeshadow for me to just use every day and then hit pan in it. So it was lovely to have this palette again in this project, and I'm excited with the new pan that I have in here. Now we're up to 7, so it's half of the palette now. And I think that's pretty cool because I would love to hit pan in every eyeshadow in this one until the end of the year. Let's see if it's getting rolled in again and if I can do some more progress, like if it's not in the project. So I will try my best, but I don't know if I can do it. It's just like, you know, I would love to, but I don't have to, of course. So I'm excited for this one. Then the last eyeshadow I was working on was the yellow metallic in my Riviera palette, also by ABH. And you will not believe my progress in this palette here, because I could not only hit pan in the yellow shade, but I was able to hit 2 bonus pans in this palette. So I also hit pan in Palermo and then also in Sales. I'm sorry, I'm saying it Italian, or like I would say it in German. So it's Palermo, it's a city in Italy. So this one here is a stunning duochrome, and I just love combining these 2 eyeshadows. So every time I reach into Inheritance, I also reached into this shade here. And if you apply this eyeshadow here together with this one here, then you get the most beautiful gradients from yellow to orange to pink, and then it shifts a bit to a red or to a copper. So it's just so beautiful. I love creating more like sunset looks, and I think I have also filmed a look where I created this kind of gradient, so I'm going to show it to you next. And then I could also hit pan in Sales. It's just a white matte eyeshadow, and I've had already so much progress on it, so I only used it a couple of times and then I could hit pan in it as well. I'm also quite low on this one here, so I feel like I could also hit pan in this one here pretty soon, and also in this stunning blue metallic. It's one of my favorites in this palette. So I'm so excited to finally have pan in this palette because I used it so much, and I just felt like I just have to see some pan soon because I've used it so much. I have so good dips in every eyeshadow in the top row and also in some of the mattes in here. So I really feel like I can have more pan if I keep working on it a bit more. So I would love to have it again in this project. So for now, 3 pans in this palette. I'm so happy with that progress. Now I'm going to show you some looks that I've created, more neutral looks where I combined like the gray color with Cyborg and then with some shades from my Pandit palette. And then also a look where I used the dark navy as an eyeliner. And overall, these are just examples for some looks that I created more than one time in this month. And so now I'm really ready to get some new eyeshadows and some new palettes to work on. Now I do have my eyeshadow wheel here, so this is the Tiny Decisions app and I just have all my eyeshadow palettes in this little wheel here, and when I touch the wheel then it's going to randomly select one of the eyeshadow palettes. I just wanted to show you that I have a new palette in my collection. So I actually have more than one new palette in my collection, but the other ones I don't want to include in this project now because they're so new. But this one here I do have for I think 3 months now, so I'm ready to include it in this project. This one here is from BH Cosmetics. It's the how is it called? Lost in Los Angeles palette. And you might have seen it before. It's a beautiful pastel rainbow palette. So it's looking like this, and I'm going to include it in this project, just that you know that there is one new palette in this project. And to be honest, I would love to have it now in the project and not like in the autumn or winter time, because I feel like it's the perfect palette for summer and I just love to reach into this palette for 1 or 2 colors. And yes, love this one and I would love to work on it. So now we are going to randomly select 5 eyeshadow palettes and then I will just grab them and then we are going to select the individual shades. So the first palette is going to be my, oh my god, my BH Blueberry Muffin palette. That's amazing. Then the next one is my, oh that's great, my Natasha Denona Mini Retro palette. I was so hoping that it gets included in this project in the next round, so I'm excited for that. Oh, and again, my Anastasia Beverly Hills Riviera palette. So 2 palettes that I have been working on in last month. So yeah, that's pretty cool because I love both of these palettes, so I'm excited. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool because this is my Morphe X Jaclyn Hill Bling Boss palette. No, what is it called? Like, so the Morphe palette from the Vault collection, and I'm going to show it to you in a minute. And it's great that this one is included in the project now because I'm really thinking about decluttering it. So this will be like, I don't know, it's on the chopping block and I'm trying it out for another month and then I'm going to decide. And I think I'm going to decide in the next update if I'm going to keep it or if I'm going to declutter it. Now we're going to see what our last palette is, and it's my BH Desert Oasis palette. Yay, I'm so excited. I was so hoping that I get it again in this project, so I'm excited. I'm going to grab all these palettes and bring them here and then we will select the colors. So now I have grabbed all the palettes and now we are going to randomly select the eyeshadows that I'm going to work on. So let's start with this Mini Retro palette by Natasha Denona here. This is one of the few palettes in my collection that don't have pan in them, so I would love to hit pan in one of these shades, and I can't really imagine that it would take too long because these pans are so tiny. So I think it would be awesome to work on this palette because I love it so much, and I think I just need a little boost to reach for it a bit more again. So let's just start with this one here. I think I would be happy with all of the 5 shades. I love all of them, so I wouldn't mind any of them. I think this one might take the longest to work on because it's a bit deep on me, but the other ones I can use every day. So I don't know, maybe I would like to work on one of the shimmers in here. But this one would be also okay, and I mean this one as well, but it's just a bit deep, so yeah, we will see. Now I do have my random number generator here, and I'm going to choose a number between 1 and 5. and it's shade number 1. So it's this glitter topper shade here. This one here will be pretty fun to work on because it's very, very sparkly. And as mentioned, it's a topper. And yes, I really have to dig into it, but it's so sparkly. So I hope that you can see it. It shifts from a pink to a bit of a blue, and yes, it's just stunning. It has a bit of a pinker base to it. So it's not totally clear, but it's definitely more like a topper. And oh, I'm so excited for this one here. So excited to have such a sparkly eyeshadow in this project. So yes, this is the first eyeshadow that we are going to work on. Now we have my Riviera palette here again, and I'm going to generate a number between 1 and 14. And it's the shade 14, so this is the brown in here. Okay, so I'm trying to hit pan in the shade Palm. I have to say that this is not my favorite shade in this palette. I think it's actually my least favorite because it can be a bit patchy, but I'm just trying to work on it. I think it would be cool to hit pan in it, so I just try to use it more as an eyeliner. Then it doesn't matter if it's a bit patchy, and yes, I will just see what I can do with it. So I'm just quickly swatching it here for you. It's a beautiful color. It's also a bit darker on my skin than it appears in the pan, which is good with this one. And it has a beautiful, almost plummy undertone. So the shade is quite nice, but as mentioned before, it's a bit patchy on me. So yes, I will see what I can do with this one here. And maybe I can hit pan in some of the other shades as well. So I would love to have another bonus pan in this palette here. Then next is my Morphe X Jaclyn Hill Bling Boss palette. It's part of the Vault collection. And as you can see, I have depotted this eyeshadow here and then it broke, so I don't have it in my collection anymore. So there have been 10 eyeshadows in here, and I'm going to generate a number between 1 and 9 now that I don't have this one in here. So now I'm going to generate a number between 1 and 9. And it's number 6, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's Glitz and Glam. So it's this beautiful mauve metallic here. And I have to say I'm not always the biggest fan of the Morphe metallic formula. It can exaggerate the texture on my lids a bit from time to time. Oh, this is pulling very warm. So I have to see what I do with this eyeshadow here. Not too excited about this shade. I think this one doesn't look as good on me as some of the other ones, but it will work. I'm happy that I have a metallic and not one of the mattes in here because, yes, I think it's easier to hit pan in a metallic. So this is my actual color story. I feel like the three look so good together. So far, it's a pretty cohesive color story. So the next palette I'm going to work on is my Blueberry Muffin palette. You have seen it before. So I'm going to generate a number here between 1 and 16 now, not 1 and 20 like the last time. Okay, and it's the shade number, and it's the number 13. So we're 4, 8, 12, 13. So 13 is the silver here. This is a very light and very beautiful silver. It's not too strong and you have to build it up a bit more, so I think it will be pretty easy to hit pan in this one. It's not too metallic, it's not too foiled, it's a bit more on the shimmer side. So yeah, this is the first more cool toned eyeshadow that I get, and yeah, really like this one. I think it will be easy for everyday looks for me to use this one. So it's always good for me to have some everyday shades in this project. I feel like this one I won't use every day because it can be so patchy, and this one is too warm, and this one is very intense and very sparkly. So I think it's great to have this one also in this project. So now we will look into my Desert Oasis palette and see what my last eyeshadow will be. So this is my BH Cosmetics Desert Oasis palette. I adore this palette. It's so stunning. And you can see that I have already 3 pans in this palette. So this one here, and then this one here. I have decided to not work on any of these shades here because they are more like highlighters for the face, and I feel like they are a bit different on the eyes than some other metallics and shimmers, and I don't like this formula on my eyes, so I don't want to work on them on my eyes. So I'm just going to work on one of the eyeshadows here in this half, and I think here are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here are 14 eyeshadows in this half, so I'm going to generate a number between 1 and 14. So again, here is 1 to 14, and it's number 10. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, so it's another silver. Okay. And you can see it's just a bit darker than the other silver, but they are pretty much, I don't know, they are very similar. So I think I can combine them a lot. These 3 here also work very well together. So I have kind of 2 kind of neutrally looks here now in this new round. It's so interesting. I have so much color in my palettes, especially in the palettes that I have now in this round, but I have all of the neutrals that they offer, I feel like. So yeah, well, it is what it is. I would enjoy a bit more color during the summer month, but maybe in the next round. So I just try to be quick with these 5 shades and hit pan in them very quick so that I can have another round maybe a bit earlier on than usually. So yeah, so this is my new color story here. Tell me in the comments what you think of it. I think it's pretty cohesive, so at least it's easy to use all of them together. So this is my update for this round. I hope that you did enjoy it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I wish you all a beautiful day.